20 years. That is how long it has been since the Suzuki Hayabusa came about, and the moment it did, it bagged the title of being the fastest production motorcycle in the world. That's not it. Since it came out in 1999, it also became the fastest production motorcycle of the 20th century. Years later, the Suzuki Hayabusa is now a legend and an icon amongst all motorcycling enthusiasts all across the world. But given the current date and given the new crop of motorcycles that has emerged over the years, does it make sense to buy one in this day and age? And also, what makes this motorcycle so popular all across the world? Well, today, we're going to find out. Let's start with what makes this motorcycle such a legend, and for that, we need to go back in time. You see, in the 1990s, the race between manufacturers was to have the fastest going production motorcycle in terms of pure top speed. The year is 1997 and Honda motorcycles have just bagged this title with their own hyperbike called as the Super Blackbird, a nod to the nickname of Lockheed SR-71, which in 1976 bagged the title of having the fastest airspeed record, achieving 3,529 km an hour, a record that stands even today. The Honda Super Blackbird then was supposed to be the almighty record holder when it came to motorcycles. But that was not to be, because come 1999, Suzuki were to come out with their biggest displacement motorcycle ever, called as the GSX 1300R, or simply Hayabusa. This name was what you would call a peregrine falcon in Japanese. The Hayabusa is the fastest member of the animal kingdom, where the bird-eating raptor achieves this feat while diving vertically on its prey, praise like the blackbird. The intent was simple: dethrone the Honda Blackbird and settle the speed wars once and for all, and that's exactly what the Hayabusa did, by going about 25 km an hour faster than the Blackbird, achieving a top speed of 312 km an hour. And no production motorcycle has broken the top speed record by such a huge margin ever. Without a doubt, the Suzuki Hayabusa blew everyone's mind and got everyone's attention. Reasons included everything from its top speed to the unconventional shape that it had. It got people talking. So much so that it started talks of regulating top speeds in motorcycles all across the world, with people fearing that the speed wars are getting out of control. This almost led to the import of hyperbikes being banned in Europe, and in response to all this, all Japanese and European motorcycle manufacturers came together and had a gentleman's agreement that no motorcycle from now on will ever exceed the speed of 186 miles per hour or 299 kilometers an hour. Something that stands even today. As a result, from the year 2000, every motorcycle ever made could not go past 299 kilometers an hour unless tampered with. Which means that even today, it can be argued that the Hayabusa is still the fastest production motorcycle ever, and quite possibly will remain so for years to come. So yes, that is the reason why the Suzuki Hayabusa is so popular all across the world. But let's put aside all of that heritage for a moment and let's look at the motorcycle as just a motorcycle and find out how is this motorcycle to ride. Well, the last major update that the Hayabusa received was way back in 2008, wherein the motorcycle was given minor details in terms of looks and some big technical updates. And to be honest, I thought that the motorcycle is now old and wouldn't be that much of a surprise, and boy was I wrong. The Hayabusa still packs the punch to put almost all modern superbikes to shame if it wants to. But let's start off with the looks. Yes, it might have been unconventional when it came out, but today, this is an iconic shape. A silhouette that is instantly recognizable all over the world. The design of the motorcycle looks like this, majorly because there was no other way back then to make it go faster if it wasn't for this curvaceous shape. And that's because speed came first, and hence the design came from a wind tunnel. And because of this recall factor, the Hayabusa doesn't seem to have aged even a bit. The only giveaway is the instrument cluster that looks a bit dated, but still nothing can beat the old world charm of having several analog dials in front of you. When it comes to the riding part, Well, its biggest strong point is, you guessed it, that engine. The 1340cc 4-cylinder liquid-cooled unit makes an astonishing 199 horsepower and 115 Nm of torque and comes with a 6-speed transmission that's butter smooth to operate. And while there is no fancy electronics like a lean-sensitive quick shifter or auto blipper or whatever, the joy of matching your revs for downshifting and getting it right is, well, something you would be proud of for years to come. As for the electronics, there's only choice of engine mappings to choose from and, well, ABS. And that's about it. And because of that, the rider feels almost everything that the motorcycle feels, as there is no electronic safety net that filters it out, and if you know what you're doing, you'll love this motorcycle for it. Then there's the size. The Hayabusa is huge by modern day standards, and with a wheelbase the size of motorcycles means two things. First, it feels a bit cumbersome at low speeds, there's no denying that, but then given its size, there's so much room for the rider on the motorcycle and the riding posture is luxurious by modern day standards. There's even a proper pillion seat where people can actually sit for hours. And then there's the stability. The motorcycle feels just so stable at highway speeds, and with the comfort that it offers, this is a definitive sports tourer. And let's not forget, the Hayabusa, with all its glory, heritage, performance and practicality, still costs 13.74 lakhs, making it one of the most accessible leader class motorcycles and above in India. But it has been 20 years now. The death knell for the Hayabusa has been rung and the motorcycle is about to go away. It has been discontinued globally as the Euro 4 emission norms have come in place and the Hayabusa does not comply with it. Age has finally caught up. However, it is still being sold in India as it is BS4 compliant. But Suzuki will only sell it till stocks last, which it guesses to be until 2020. There is still some hope as Suzuki has renewed the trademark on the Hayabusa name and is rumored to be working on a new one to replace this model. Will it be electric? Will it be turbocharged? Well, we don't know. But as for the legend of this Hayabusa, it will go on forever. And with that, we have come to the end of our day that we had with the Suzuki Hayabusa. Well, this generation is about to be discontinued soon. Yes, there are a few things that I wish this motorcycle had, and yes, it is a bit big for a motorcycle that is being sold in this day and age. But this motorcycle has a history unlike any other, and luckily it is still being sold in India. So if you've always wanted to own one and have the money to get your hands on one of these, well, now is the time to do so.